Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, the 14th of August. I want to talk about opening our eyes to the knowledge of each other, the knowledge of ourselves and the knowledge of each other, because that is the knowledge that will save us. Because we are the ones that we are waiting for. We are supposed to be the saviors of each other. And right now, we cannot do that. The biggest problem that humanity has is that it lacks confidence, in being the savior to each other. And even those that are trying, boldly go and save others, doing it in the incorrect way. Again, out of not dealing with the reality of what a human being actually is and how it functions. And we need to build out of the knowledge of what we are, the acceptance of what we are. We need to build the correct web in which we can save each other. The problem is, I can see at the moment, is that you have people like the Greg Braden crew, that are already envisaging a brilliant new future, a way to go for humanity. And of course, there's the other crew as well that has also envisaged a not so bright future for humanity. And the not so bright future, they have built their foundation. This world of darkness has created people that will function in that darkness. But the ones with a bright future, they have not created people that will function in that future. They have not the support web of people of the correct thinking that would support that future. So they're taking off, with these bright ideas, and they're kind of leaving humanity behind. And at one point, they will find themselves standing somewhere on their own, because there'll be nobody there to support this idea, because people cannot function in the correct way to support it. And then, of course, you have the last crew. So you have the ones that take people below. They have created acquiescent sheep. And the ones that try to build a future have no people to function in that future. And then you have, of course, the David Icke, and he's not the only one, that are boldly going into La La Land, and the acquiescent sheep are following them. So, at least with the Greg Braden crew, that's based on something. That is a knowledge that we have, that it is based on. Whereas the David Icke and all of them, that's based on pretty much nothing. A couple of ideas that are not even proven, and off we shoot into space. So we need to get rid of acquiescence, but we need to create a world where acquiescence is no longer necessary. Because it's not just built on stupidity, although that is a big part of it. A lot of it is necessity for survival. And another thing is fear, of not being accepted. So we need to build a world where people can have the confidence to be themselves and to take their part in the web. So that's what we need, confidence. So let me just go back to the garden just one more time and show you. When their eyes were opened, their eyes were not only open to the knowledge of good and evil, but to the knowledge of each other. They knew each other. And this word knowing in Hebrew has got a spectrum of meaning. One of them is sex, which the pastors love that one, go with that one. But it really means intimacy. And intimacy can take many different forms. It does not just have to be sex. So And it was really, when they were intimate, open, they saw they were naked. They were intimate, open with everything in the garden before that. They gave of their knowledge freely to all. And at that moment, they knew each other. So that was the birth of self-consciousness. They realized they were different from everything else. And a knowledge of good and evil, that maybe their knowledge was not being used in the way that they would deem good. So the pastors say it was a loss of innocence. They were as children before that. And yes, they grew up. That's what they did. They were growing up at that moment. And we cannot stay children forever. They were children in the garden and they were exploited. We are running around like idiots trying to protect our young because they are innocent. And we know because of that they are in danger. So we need to grow up. It's just nature. We need to grow up. That's what they did and that's what we need to do. But then we need to grow up in the correct knowledge of ourselves. So, a human being has got this urge for intimacy. Yeah? We want to be known. We want to give the knowledge of ourselves to everybody else. That's what we want to do. It is an urge in us. But if you are grown up, yeah, you cannot be intimate with everybody. You can't. Your truth, the fullness of your truth, you can probably never connect fully with everybody else because we are all different. And that is a fact. And that is a fact you have to deal with to build this correctly. And we're all different for a reason. We have different thoughts, we have different ideas, we have different character traits because we need to fulfill different functions in this world to make the whole function as a whole. So it is necessary that we're different from each other. But again, on the other hand, that means you cannot be completely intimate with everybody. And you have to accept that. Grow up, accept that. Because at the moment there's really a lot of sheep herding going on here. And that is, we are being told to think in black and white, good and evil. All or nothing. There it is, all or nothing. Yeah, and if I cannot have it all, I won't have it at all. Forget it. And we're running from one point to the other, and we keep running past the truth in the middle. It is not all or nothing. It is how much can you have? Grow up. How much can you have? It's a child that thinks it can have everything. So how much can you have? And there's again, when we open ourselves up to others, yeah, and then people reject us and we get hurt. And we're standing there saying, well, it's all their fault. They can't accept you fully. They can't. They are not like you. You will only be able to connect to most people on just a few points, and that is how it is. We may reach moments of complete intimacy in our lives, and those are great moments. Yeah? And when they happen, it's fantastic. But as I said, you can only be fully intimate probably with only a very few people. And even then, it will probably only happen now and then. Cherish the moments when they happen. But it cannot be all. So, and here is why we cannot build the web. Because we say all or nothing. Yeah? And where we're only together with those that we can be connected to the most and leave the others out. Yeah, or we're actually ending up on our own. You know, I'd rather be on my own, you know, if I cannot connect fully to everybody else. So say, grow up, or you will be on your own. So, correctly building the web means we open ourselves where we can connect. And that is also wisdom, because again, when you leave yourself completely open, you will get hurt. And that's, you know, it's your own fault you're doing it. Through, again, not accepting what you are and what others are. Not growing up to the reality of what a human being is. So, but that's what we're doing. We're just connecting to those that we can connect to, and we're, you know, forming these little clusters, and then the clusters start fighting each other. Whereas, you know, you should think, this is a web, this is humanity. I can connect in certain points, and any connection that I can make, any connection, no matter how small, will make the web stronger. And that's how you build it correctly. You cannot build the entire web. You can only build so many connections, but every connection you can build will make the web stronger. And it's the same for everybody else. And it is in that web that people will no longer have to be acquiescent, where people are free to be themselves, where people can accept themselves, where people know I can do what I can do, and there's only so far I can go. And if I think I should be all, I'm asking too much of myself. And where we do not judge each other, because we cannot connect on that point, but we accept that fact. And we can see the connections that those we cannot connect with, we can see the connections that they're building. And we know that what they're doing will also strengthen the web. Yeah? And we can love them for that, even if they're not directly given to us. We know it will give to the whole, and sooner or later it will come back to us. It will benefit us, just not directly. So this is the correct view of ourselves and how we can connect to build the correct web where there is no judgment, where people are free to be themselves, where people are not being judged. And through that we will have the confidence that we're lacking. We can be confident in what we are doing. And we know we do not have to acquiesce to this or the other in order to save ourselves, because we know the web in its entirety exists. Even if we are not connected to every point of it, we know it exists. And that will give us the confidence to be ourselves. And that is then the foundation on which we can build. Well, we can then make choices, you know, what to go with and what not to go with. What is good for us? What is going too far out? What is taking us too far below? You know, again, we are in a strong web, we have confidence, and we can then make choices. Again, before that, in acquiescence and fear, you are actually in a very low IQ. And going out into nothingness, you know, there's no rationality there either. You need to be in a stable web to make stable choices. And then we can actually think about what our future should be. But there, we have to be the saviors of each other first. We have to hold on to each other. We need to build a web where we can hold on to each other. And once we know we are safe, then we can start making choices about our future. Yeah? At the moment, as I said, there are people building futures left, right, and center. You know, a future where you are in slavery, a future where there might be possibilities, a future where you're taking off the planet altogether. But we are not in a position where we can have the confidence and the safety to make decisions. And that is what this, and we can only build that out of the acceptance and true knowledge of ourselves and each other. That is the knowledge we need. That is the knowledge. We are dying because we do not have that knowledge. And we cannot save ourselves. Anyway, I think I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.